Hey internets, it's Jake from Mini Terrain Domain, and this is Scribes and Scrolls, the Candlekeep Mysteries, Book 3, The Book of the Raven. This is Chapter 31, Lingering Doubts. In our continuing D&D campaign happening every Monday night at 8 p.m. Eastern, right here on twitch.tv/Mini Terrain Domain. I should say we're a TTRP Gifts Award nominated stream. Congratulations to all those who won, and to Robo Goblin and TTRP Gifts for putting on an amazing award show this weekend. It was really cool to be a part of that. And remember Mini Terrain Domain and Scribes and Scrolls when nominations open up next year. Not that I'm lobbying for Most Evil GM or anything, but
so he's just gonna take it out on us tonight, for the record, Robo.
Well, he has to do the evil first, and then he can lobby.
Yes.
Right.
So yeah.
You mean more evil?
It's
right?
Fresh on his mind.
It's been interesting because everybody in our team chat is all talking about all the terrible things that Jake might do, and I'm just like, this is just Jake's game. Like he's been killing me for 8 years now.
Oh, so. Ashen Works, you sweet summer child. Your time is coming, my friend.
Oh my God. Is that the kind of story you like?
Yes. All right.
Sorry.
Well, we are going to get into the game here in just a moment. I'm going to make this super quick. Look down below Dwight in the lower left-hand corner, and you will see the Mini Terrain Domain channel sponsor, Talon and Claw. You can check them out by typing !MTD Claw in the chat. Check out their Etsy shop where they have all kinds of incredible dice accessories, dice vaults, gaming screens, rolling trays, all kinds of great stuff. When you go there and pick out your favorite gaming accessories, be sure to use code MTDClaw at checkout and save 10% on your purchase. Also, be sure to check out our good friend Keel over at Run Right Play, !RWP in chat. We'll give you a link to his Patreon. He is just an amazing human being, putting out just a wonderful community of collaboration over there. So head on over there and check that out. Tell him that Mini Terrain Domain sent you. As I make a little magic happen over Jordan's head, you can see our domain tomes are at 30. With that little bit of meta gold deposited in the treasury.
We need it. I do not apologize.
Thank you.
That's fine. Those domain tomes are a way that you, the viewers, and sometimes players, can influence the game by subscribing, resubbing, gifting subs, tipping $5, 500 bits. All that stuff goes towards domain tomes that the players can use to re-roll, gain advantage, make me re-roll, all those kind of things. And I'm currently maxed out on the much smaller books at the top, limited edition domain tomes. When I am out of even one of those can be purchased at $20 a pop for me to use sparingly. But I have a full set, just waiting for the right moment. So keep that in mind. The last thing that I want to mention before we get into the actual game here and play some Dungeons and Dragons is, of course, we just want to remind you that you matter. Your presence here on this earth makes a difference. Whether or not you believe that, we know it to be true. You might be struggling for whatever reason. First off, I want you to know it's okay to not be okay. But you do not have to struggle alone. At any time while you are here with us, you can type !help in the chat, and that is going to bring up a URL that will also periodically show up, and it will pop up at the bottom of the stream every once in a while as well. Findahelpline.com. Be sure to click on that link. Check it out, bookmark it for yourself, save it for a friend, whoever might need it. It is a very simple tool. Just put in where you are located in the world, and help services will show up. Please do use that tool if you need it. With that, I think it's time to play some Dungeons and Dragons. Most recently, the book club traveling back from their excursion to the Chalet Brantifax, where they took a little foray into the Shadowfell. Gary, how did they get to the Shadowfell?
They disturbed a child's grave, Jake. They dug it up.
That is absolutely right.
Not we, they. And that's
Doc likes to remind them frequently. They went through a child's grave. And
I went through the child's dad's grave, to be
because
really
that is
fair.
much better.
Yes, it
thanks
is.
for throwing me under the bus.
Sorry.
No, you're not.
No, I'm not.
This gives you a good insight into how things are going for the party right now. Because during that encounter, Teera ran into her long-lost brother, Torin, who currently goes by the name Cain Maugrum. But oh, guess what? Assyria also knows Cain Maugrum is the man who tried to kill her wolf and take her prisoner 3 years before. So
tough time.
there's a little bit of animosity in the group right now. While heading back towards Candlekeep after leaving the chalet, the conversation was carrying on amongst various people as they were also finding out something's just not right with Mizya and with Assyria. They seem to be suffering some after effects of the Shadowfell, struggling to identify what is real. Mizya's fairly certain that Vorn is a figment of their imagination, and told them as much, which was very disconcerting for Vorn, who was trying to convince Mizya that he was not a figment of their imagination. Well, Assyria was getting her butt kicked with, along with Cain at her side, by some oozes at an abandoned fountain. An ooze got a particularly nasty blow that knocked her unconscious and sent her sprawling, while both Assyria and Teera used their heirloom swords to attack these gray oozes. They found out that the oozes are caustic and created acidic damage on their heirloom weapons. But it was a good thing Cain was there, because Cain finished off the oozes for him, thus saving the day. Assyria.
He's such a hero.
The party came.
He's such a hero.
I'm pretty
What
sure
else?
the party came to the rescue.
Well, you remember it how you remember it.
Uh-huh.
Assyria had words
Gary,
with Teera.
thank you. Gary, thank
Yes,
you.
Gary.
Doc remembers saving Assyria's life.
Yeah.
I was getting to that. After Doc saved Assyria's life, Assyria and Teera had words. They were not kind words. At the end of that conversation, Teera wound up going into the woods to literally punch trees. Vorn eventually followed her into the woods and provided a shoulder for her to cry on. And that is where we ended last week's session. We are going to pick up with, first off, because you had all sort of stopped and dealt with things, I forgot to tell you, you can treat that as a short rest, meaning if you have any abilities that recharge, or if you need to spend hit dice to bring your
Yes.
healing up, you can do so. We are going to join you as you are back on the road for the rest of the day. And we are going to... The first thing we see, actually, is a quick flash from the fight yesterday. Or earlier in the day. It's just a real quick flash of the oozes rising up out of the water. And another flash as Cain comes walking towards Assyria with a sword drawn. And Assyria, a flash as you look at Cain, and then you look and see what the real threat is. A flash as your sword lashes out, cutting into one of these things, but also searing as the acidic flesh of the ooze causes pits to appear in your father's sword that you carry. And then everything goes black for you, Assyria, as you remember this ooze lunging its entire body at your midsection, and you fall unconscious. And as you fall into darkness, you hear your name being called. Assyria. Assyria. It's your mother. Assyria. Wake up, girl. How old are you in this memory?
Oh.
Oh, jeez. Probably 8.
Okay. Assyria. Resha. Wake up.
She'll open her eyes.
You open your eyes to see your mother, Venora, standing there in front of you with her hands on her hips. And she is looking at you with a stern look, but not like an overly angry look. I think I've let you sleep in plenty long enough. You've got chores that need to be done.
All right. And Assyria will kind of stumble out of bed. She's not a morning person. That is still very much the same. So
In
So
this,
she tumbles to the kitchen and pours herself a cup of ambition. Cool. I'm just checking.
Yeah,
Great,
yeah,
sorry.
100%.
as in this memory, as you stumble out of bed, there's this sort of quick flash as you suddenly find yourself standing outside. You're fully dressed. What chore are you doing around your homestead? What does 8-year-old Assyria, what is she tasked with?
Her father gave her the task to kind of help make sure that the horses get out for a little bit of stretching their legs, and then later on bringing them in and working on her ability to kind of track as they maneuver through the woods that are around her home. They have a really large kind of area just because it's so open and it's so remote. So that's her kind of task, is just kind of letting them loose and then just making sure that the fence is good around the house, the property rather.
So, one of the things you're doing as part of that, getting ready, is you're at the pump getting water for the horses. And the pump is around the side of the house, and you hear your name from inside. You hear your name on your mother's lips. And we almost see as you're pumping the water, and your ear sort of perks up as the camera sort of into just inside the window, as we see Venora talking to Melchior. I worry about Assyria. She's doing well enough working with you and in the woods. But she's way behind Thaedred in her studies. I worry that, well, I don't want her to get left behind. What's going through your head as you hear this in your memory?
I'm trying to think as an 8-year-old and not as an older version of Assyria.
No, this is a memory.
Excuse me?
Yeah, excuse me.
I heard everything.
This is a memory,
What
so
the fuck?
you view that how you will.
So I think she kind of inwardly rolls her eyes, just hating that comparison of always being compared to the sibling. And just kind of wanting to be her own person. Her brother very much has his own aspects and wants to be at court, and that's the furthest thing that she wants to do. She has her own dream and what she wants to do. The idea of being left behind, though, is a little bit jarring to her. And she, I think, is a little bit confused by what that could mean, because it seems to imply several things. It's not just one thing.
You hear Melchior responding. What do you think she's going to be left behind from? I'm teaching her skills she will need to survive in life. Tadrid is a good student. But even now, at 11 years old, Tadrid would not last a night in the woods. Assyria? I think she could last 4 or 5 nights on her own. Maybe longer. Well, I just worry that she's not as smart as Tadrid. And then as she says that, you get this, again, this memory flash of the ooze just slamming into your gut, knocking you out. And as that happens, you suddenly have this flashback to when, after the forest, when you were taking refuge with Gut Ripper, the troll, and you saw the vision of your mother. And she was standing there and saying, I will always be with you, Assyria. You know that I love you. But this time, you see from around the edges of this almost illuminated vision of your mother, you see a shadowy form, sort of fingers almost like tendrils over her shoulders and peering to the side. She's lying. She doesn't love you. I will always be with you, Assyria. She abandoned you. She doesn't even know where you are. She doesn't care. As long as you keep me in your heart. Her heart is black like her soul, and she will corrupt you. And then again, that ooze, boom, into the gut, and you suddenly jolt to, and you are on the road with your companions.
Can I make a perception check to see if I noticed her jar?
I would say anybody, actually, I would say probably just about everybody picks up on that because, except maybe Doc. Everybody's passive is high enough that you would have picked up on that something Assyria just sort of gasped, maybe called out, faltered.
I just kind of turn and I'm like, is Assyria walking, riding, what?
Just walking, probably. Probably was just walking, and you know how when you kind of get in the zone when you're on a hike or something like that,
Just kind of, yeah.
just there but not fully. And now she's probably
just
blearily looking around.
I look over and I'm like, you all right? What happened?
Just nodded off. It's nothing.
You're walking.
Yeah, I'm tired. I didn't sleep much at all. I'm tired, that's all.
Well, all right. If you see any snakes, I guess, let us know. You didn't see a snake, did you?
No,
Good. I hate snakes.
that's good to
Mm.
know.
I kind of smirk and I just keep walking.
Cereal will make the hissing noise as she turns
Stop
around.
it! Stop it! And I turn, I'm like, it's not funny. Stop.
Vorn, Mizya, do either of you say anything or react in any way to Assyria's situation?
I look over kind of with a confused look, but I look right back down. I'm just kind of staring at my book. It's like the only thing for me that I have any kind of like ground that's grounded for me. So
I think Mizya, for a moment, as you're staring at this book, I imagine this almost happening on a telepathic level, as Gerald just is saying to you, "So, you're not entirely certain that your companions are real. How do you know that I'm real?"
I don't, but I remember you from before. Everything went odd, so I assume. But then they were here too. I don't know. Well, I feel you in my lap, and we can speak together. So I'm just going to go with real for now.
Yes, I much prefer that. I would hate to think that I was just a figment of someone's imagination. Hold on tight, lest both of us disappear in a puff of logic.
I just kind of like know that he means mentally hold on, but I just kind of reflexively grip the book a little tighter. My arthritis kicks in a little bit and my knuckles.
What about Vorn? Any reactions from Vorn?
So, he overhears Assyria and Teera. And just for order of priority, who's in the front, who's in the back? No, you're muted. I can't hear you.
Asaria would be in the back. Sorry.
Okay. All right. So I imagine Vorn is up near the front, and he kind of overhears the conversation in the back, and he thinks to himself the times he's fallen asleep while walking, or at least has been so exhausted where he ended up in a place and doesn't remember the path he took to get there. Then glancing over to Mizya and watching Mizya grip her book a little bit, like just slightly seeing the tension in her hands grip the book. Vorn has a moment of existential crisis, and he's like, I'm not a figment of someone's imagination. And even
Meta.
if I were,
Wow.
should I just continue on being Vorn? Am I a figment of the great god's imagination? And just kind of like just staring up and
Clip that.
like, and he's like, if a god is smart enough to create the fabric of reality, then the dream of such a god would be vivid enough to where each expression would be a figment of its. Oh,
Are you saying this out loud or just thinking it?
his lips are moving like he's reading a book quietly to himself, but like
I just imagine as you're saying all of this, we sort of see the camera just slowly panning around Vorn, and then there's this reveal as walking about 3 feet away from you is Kane, and he's just staring at you.
yeah. And I look over at Kane,
uncomfortable.
and I'm like, what?
Nah,
Say
I've
something
gone.
about it.
It's not my place to say anything.
No. Speak your mind. What you got?
Right. He sort of reaches out and he just kind of puts his hand on your shoulder and he says, "Don't take this the wrong way, Vaughn. But if you were a
Which is
figment
what
of
someone
my imagination,
says.
well, if you were a figment of
Go
my
ahead.
imagination, I would have imagined you a little better looking. And then he kind of punches your shoulder.
and like Vorn for a moment in time is slightly offended, like, and then he laughs. Yes, better looking indeed. Yeah, yeah.
So
Right, you are. Right, you are.
where exactly are we going?
And Vorn looks over at Doc. Then he looks over at
Doc,
Mizya.
Doc, would you be so kind as to tell my brother where we're going?
Oh, sure. We are returning to Candlekeep.
Well, don't we need to go back to the?
3 dragon aunties
Yeah.
first.
We need to go to them first.
Pit
Hmm.
stop.
Need. You and I have a very different definition of what that word means.
That's very true.
I don't think we need to go back. There's nothing compelling us to go back. But
Well,
if you want to, that's something we could talk about.
Well, they wanted the turtle, which is the whole reason we got on this mission in the first place. So
Yes. Yes, that's true. But it doesn't mean that they need to get it.
that's very true.
All right, Mr. Smarty Pants, why do we need to go back to Candlekeep then?
Well, there's a bunch of reasons. One, Asaria almost died, and she could probably use some treatment. 2, we should probably report back to all of the folks who are there and would be interested in finding out about where the map in the book led us. And they also might be interested in finding out about what happened when you dug up that young girl's grave and went into the Shadowfell. And then we also might be able to tell them about what happened when your brother turned into a bear. And then we also might be able to tell.
Yep. You're right. I give up, Mercy. And I kind of like, I have like a handkerchief somewhere and I wave my white flag. I'm like, we should very clearly go over before we get back what we should and should not tell them back at Candlekeep, Doc.
Why?
You should, because, and I kind of look at Asaria.
We
Certain news makes people upset, Doc, and if there's no reason for them to know, there's no reason for us to tell them and them to be upset.
we also
Well-
don't know who we can necessarily trust. Whoever
What,
we're dealing with is very powerful, so it's highly likely they may have someone at Candlekeep that's maybe keeping watch.
what news do you think would upset people?
Anything involving werewolves or werebears, Doc. Any of those types
That
of
whole-
news.
Yeah.
And laying in graves with children.
Yeah.
That too. Yeah.
Probably.
yeah.
Pretty much everything except, hey, we have your book.
That's a good way to get fired from your job. So we should probably not say that. And
Is getting fired a bad thing?
Yes.
Why?
well, you came to Candlekeep for a reason, right? To look into something that might take away your library privileges to be able to go and look at it.
No, I came to Candlekeep and I did what I set out to do. I only came because I had nothing else to do, really. Once I delivered the document, I was free to leave. But then they said you get a 10-day full of access to Candlekeep, and it would surely be a waste to deliver this unique document and not enter the library. So then I did. I entered the library and I've explored and I met all of you. And so that was good. But I also, when I was in Candlekeep, I had no intention of being there. And now I'm still there. So if I were to get fired, I suppose it would be fine. It wouldn't bother me because I don't really need a job.
I think this
And-
is real. I remember this pointless bickering from before.
Are we
Remember-
bickering?
And
I thought I
remember
was
They're
just
back.
talking.
Remember, Mizya, you can always ask real or not real. We'll answer.
Mizya, do you believe that I'm real?
Do you want a mimosa? Is that it?
I look at Vorn. Maybe. You seem real.
I'll
I'm
take
not
it.
sure.
Poke them.
Meanwhile, I'm kind of making eye contact with Kane, and I assume he is kind of looking like this is all a lot and pointless and dumb, and I just kind of like shrug.
I kind of like saddle up next to Kane as we're walking, and I said, I once knew a werebear. Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
That's, I mean,
Way back.
hold on a minute.
Yeah.
You know a werebear.
New.
New.
Yeah, a long time ago when I was a younger lad.
What was his name, Vaughn?
It was a she.
Oh.
I would like to insight check Born. 14.
Mm.
Well, I mean, what are you looking
Yeah.
for? What are
I'm
you-
just kind of looking to see if, like, he's being awkward and weird. I want to see how he feels about this werebear she.
Yeah, from another.
Was it a friend? Was it a sibling? I know nothing. I would like to know more.
And Vorn kind of feels Teera's gaze upon his back, the way you feel when someone is looking at you, when you may or may not have said something incorrect. Not bad folk, werebear. Yeah, old friend of mine from the past, long time ago.
It's not normal for someone to say that they know a werebear. I mean, all of you could be able to say that now, you know me. But also, it's not normal to be able to say that you're a friend to one of our kind. Find that most coincidental.
Yeah, we were close.
Yeah? How close?
I'll tell you what, when we get back to Candlekeep, you buy me a couple of drinks and I'll tell you the story about my
You saying there might be a
rite of
couple of
passage.
there might be a couple of what would those be? Werebork cubs out there somewhere?
Well, man, I surely hope not. No. No, not saying that at all.
So
My God. Could you imagine?
but you and
Orcas.
you and this werebear that you knew, you didn't, and he's kind of leaning back behind you, Vorn, and he's just kind of looking at Teera like,
I'll cover off flank. I'm gonna drop back a little bit. I need to think. And I just like kind of like step a little farther behind the party, and I'm really consciously looking around, even though there's nothing following us and no danger whatsoever.
Looks
Like,
over at
Teera's
King.
like looking over it, like under bushes and like behind trees, and like really making a show of it.
There's just whistling.
Kane, Vorn looks over at Kane and he's like, "What's her deal, dude?"
honestly, at this point, I think you'd have a better chance of knowing than me. I've known her again for about a day at this point.
Yeah.
I guess I should be asking you, what's her deal? Why is she getting all weird when you're talking about an old girlfriend?
Hold on. I thought you were supposed to buy me some drinks before we got this far.
Well, I don't know. You know what? Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
we'll have this conversation over drinks when next
Sounds
we
good.
can.
Yeah.
Maybe Maybe a couple drinks in, and you can tell us this werebear lass's name.
Yeah, deal. And so wait a minute, real quick. I'm slightly confused. So hold on. How about this? I'll tell you that, and you tell me how you became a werebear.
I think we better stick to the deal. Drinks are gonna need to be involved.
Yeah, I agree, bud. I agree. All right. And
I'll hold you
I'm gonna
to
go
that.
ahead Yeah,
And Kane just sort of drops back.
yeah.
What a cool, relatable guy, huh, everybody? Isn't he great?
Vorn's gonna take point and kind of like in front and just kind of keep going forward.
So
Yeah.
as you're traveling on through the rest of the afternoon, go ahead and make me a survival check. Vorn, I'll have you do that since you've just taken point. I'll have Teera, I'll have you do so with advantage because Kane's dropped back with you.
Okay.
Sarah is happily whistling.
Dirty 20.
underwear.
Okay.
Am I rolling advantage or just regular?
You're just rolling regular.
Okay, 12.
Okay. So we see this as this Kane drops back from your conversation and you move to take point. We sort of, the camera stops and watches as you're rolling along and walking along in the cart and moves up and kind of pauses on the sun up in the sky. And then it just sort of shifts. And as the camera comes back down, we see that it's getting late in the day and we see the cart coming around a bend and you've been traveling all day and it's getting to be that time of day where you want to start looking for a place to set up camp. Along this road, there's plenty of places to do so, if that's what you want to do. Unless you decide you want to press on. That's entirely up to you.
Probably rest.
Nobody's any good to anybody unless they've gotten a full night's sleep.
Yeah. Sarah quickly turns away.
So you sort of pull in and get the horses tied up and start setting up your camp. Who's doing what to prep your campsite?
I imagine Teera is chopping down a small tree for firewood.
Sarah is gonna do a not too far quick perimeter check. Just to make sure.
All right.
Vorn is setting up small little tripwire around the camp at obvious and unobvious entry points, like maybe some type of bell on a string kind of thing. So if someone were to walk and
Do you have a bell on a string?
That's a good question.
I don't know. Ask Doc. Doc bought a whole bunch of stuff at the store
True.
Random crap.
that was all in the cart, and I don't remember what all that was.
Doc, you got any bells? I want to set up some general alarms or something.
Hi, Vorn. No, I don't have any bells. But what I do have is I have a large sack full of broken pottery, which will accomplish the same thing.
Yeah, that's perfect. Thank you.
Don't use it
Great.
all in one place.
I'll do my best. Hey, is it okay if I break up this pottery in more broken pieces?
Shake.
But sure, but the smaller you break it, the less effective it will be because there's less chance that it will get broken again if someone was to step on it.
Good point. I won't break it up too small. It'll be just effective enough. Yeah, great. Okay.
So you're gonna take Doc's pottery, spread it around
Yeah.
to make sort of alarms.
Yeah. If you will.
Mizya?
Stay in the cart.
So as the cart pulls up and everybody's doing everything, getting ready for the camp, Mizya is still sitting in the cart,
Staring at my book.
staring at their book.
This surprises us 0.
Assyria, make me an investigation check.
All right. With
Delighted lilt in his voice.
disadvantage is 15.
You scan this area. You've managed to find a nice little spot that has a smallish opening off the side of the road, but opens up to where if you had them, you could have fit 2 or 3 wagons in here. Decent space for a campsite, and you kind of move around the perimeter, taking a look to make sure there's nothing to be worried about, scanning for animal tracks and whatnot. You don't go very far away from the camp at all, and you see the first thing you see is signs of broken branches, and you see in the relatively soft earth. It's not like super soft, but soft enough that there's tracks have been left where these broken branches are, or rather ruts. It looks like some sort of wheeled conveyance went through here. And you move a little bit further and you see just down a little bit of a hill, you see there is a wagon that is painted in red with some kind of yellow decorations all over it. It's sort of almost like a Vardo wagon, which is like a barrel-topped wagon with hard sides and roof. And you see that it's down this hill a little bit, and you can already see from this angle that more than one of its wheels are broken, and it looks like it's crashed down into this little ravine area. But it also doesn't look like it's been there terribly long.
Mm.
After she's kind of done her loop, I think that we may have neighbors or someone may need help, or it could be a trap with how our luck has been going. There seems to be another cart nearby. Doesn't seem that it's been there for too long, but it seems like it's gone down the ridge and crashed. Several of the wheels are broken off. It's red with a bunch of yellow on it.
Oh. So it doesn't look like it's been there for very long, and it looks like it crashed.
Could have been. Or pushed.
That'd be a hell of a high price to set a trap. Wagons are expensive.
Well, I mean, it could be magic for all we know.
Oh.
Might not be there, but it's just something to be mindful of. We could go check it out, or
I think we should. I mean, if it is people we don't want there, we don't want them sleeping right next door.
right.
Well, how about this? Kane and Vaughn and I can go on ahead, and Assyria, you watch from the top of the hill, and Mizya, you feeling like getting off the cart anytime soon?
Not really.
Well, would you please indulge us and wait at the top of the hill with Assyria to make sure that you're there for your pew-pews, just in case?
Perhaps.
And Doc, you want to come?
No.
Okay, then you can wait with the cart.
Okay.
Hey, Mizya. Yes.
Mizya is real. Vaughn is real.
Hey, do you remember you and I playing Seven Kings with this deck of cards here?
Oh.
Here, and I'm gonna hand him over to Mizya, and it's like, it's a 500 deck. It's really thick, and it's
I reach out and I just start kind of flipping through. Yes, I do remember this.
yeah.
And I kind of turn. I start laying them out on the bench, net between me and Doc.
Yeah. Hey, hold those for me, right? And when we get back end of the night, maybe we can play a game or two. See how you feel.
I would like that very much.
All right, cool. And then he goes and meets up with Teera and Kane, and it's
Uh,
like, "You all ready to go?"
What should be the signal to come and help?
If we start screaming, oh gods, help, we're dying, that's a great signal.
Okay, how about something shorter?
Oh gods,
I
help.
was thinking maybe help.
Jenga.
Yeah,
or
help is great.
Jenga? Yeah.
One syllable. Easy to remember.
After, and
Right. So as you go over to kind of get Kane to join you, he has his axe out and has chopped a few, taken a couple of trees you chopped down, and was splitting wood, and he just kind of, all right, where are we going?
Got to go down a hill.
Point out where she'll take him to the edge and then point down.
All right.
as you know, like as we were walking down the hill and we get a little distance, I kind of like, come up to Teera on the side, and I'm like, her name was Ursula, and she was special to me at that time in my life.
Mm.
Things have changed, though. I hope you can understand that.
And I look at Vorn, I'm like, well, what makes you think I wouldn't understand that? What makes you think I would care?
Nothing at all. Nothing at all. I trot off I trot off and I catch up with Kane, who's in front of us.
And kind of after Vorn like hustles off, Teera sort of like smiles and just kind of continues on after them.
So the three of you, or rather the four of you, get over to this hill, and then you can see down at the bottom of this hill, maybe 20 feet. Just as Assyria said, there's a broken up red wagon. There's some yellow decorations along the side, and it looks like there's some kind of lettering on the side as well.
What's it say?
You got to get closer.
I want to get right up there with my face.
All right. As you start approaching it, Kane just kind of, for a second, as you just start walking right up to it, he kind of reaches out and grabs hold of your arm, and he just gives you this look like, and then he pulls his sword and then starts moving quietly towards. As you approach, angling towards the side, you can see on the side of the wagon in big letters arcing across the top and then smaller across the bottom, surrounding a picture in the middle. It is a very nicely painted portrait of a dwarven man with a top hat, and he's got a very curly mustache, a monocle. His beard is actually shaved into a goatee, and it says across the top, Professor Charlemagne Latan's Magical Miracle Beard Oil and other sundries.
Oh my god. Amazing. Amazing. And I'm looking at it, I'm like, what would you look at that? Looks like a charlatan ran afoul a hill, eh?
You hear something inside the wagon go, "Zoom." It's like something shifts just inside the wagon.
I look at Kane and I look at Vorn. I'm like, oi! There's anything or anybody alive in there, come out now. Or we're coming in and you won't like it.
There's
Give
no
you
response.
5 seconds. Give you 5 seconds, and that's all we'll give you. 4, 3, 2, 1, and I like rear back, and I want to like boot whatever part of this thing looks the weakest. If there is a door,
There's a door at the back of it.
Yeah, I want to boot the door, please.
All right, make a strength check. Athletics.
Okay, here I go. That's a 19.
You suddenly kick up, you kick at the handle of this door, and you don't take any damage or anything, but you get a nice jarring vibration as you try to kick the door in the wrong way. But you kick it hard enough that it kind of goes and starts to vibrate open. And then you see that there is a figure just inside the door that comes lunging out at you. Make a dexterity saving throw.
Uh-oh.
Okay, I get advantage on dex while I can see, and I'm not blinded or deafened or something else that's got cut off. Here I go. Dex saving throw is a nat 20, baby.
How do you dodge out of the way of this individual that has just lunged at you?
I imagine it's almost like a Simba and Scar situation where like I duck a little bit and sort of go like phew, and like kind of use his momentum against him, whatever, or it's, and just kind of like launch him further behind me and turn around, ready to go.
So as Teera does this, Vorn, you and Kane, basically Teera sort of lunges this figure, somersaults it over her head until it lands at your feet. You see Kane immediately bring his sword to bear like this. What do you do, Vorn?
Vorn so the figure lands at our feet right in front of us?
On the ground prone.
On the ground prone. Vorn immediately goes in for unarmed attack and is going to try to grapple to restrain.
Okay, make a strength athletics check at advantage.
Yeah, I like that.
Yep. Get it.
Nat 20 plus 6, so 26.
Oh my god. Yes.
You just immediately go down into like a judo grapple, wrapping this figure up.
Mm-hmm.
And you find that they do not have any strength whatsoever. They're not resisting you at all. As Kane looks at you with his sword like this, and he kind of looks over at you, Teera, as you're just kind of recovering from throwing over. And Teera, you turn around to see that Vorn is grappling a dead man.
Damn it.
Okay.
You know he's dead because his throat has been slit open. His skin is very pale. His monocle is shattered. His top hat lies askew. And blood is in his goatee beard. This appears to be Professor Charlemagne Latin.
What?
Is the dead man struggling in Vorn's grip?
Is he
Not
animated?
at all.
It's just literally like a dead dummy. Like it's like a mannequin.
Yeah, basically it looks like when you kicked the door open, the body was probably leaning against it.
Oh.
Okay. So Vorn like quickly looks at it and he's like, "Oh shit, did I kill him?" And like he immediately drops.
Yeah, way to go, Vorn. Good job.
Vorn.
You killed him with wrestling.
Vorn, it's okay. I don't think you. Ugh. And I go over and he's just laying there now, and Teera sort of tilts his chin up with the edge of her sword and like kind of gestures at his throat being slit. It's like, I don't think wrestling did that to him.
Wait.
Yeah, I think he's already dead.
Doc is going to look at Mizya as they fiddle with the book in their lap, and he's going to flick them in the arm.
You stop doing that.
You're not there.
Yes, I am. I didn't go.
You were at the
You're
top of the hill.
You're at the top of the hill.
Oh, I'm at the top. Never mind.
Remember, our code word is help.
That's right.
Thank
Yes,
God
Doctor.
Sirius paying attention.
Still real.
I forgot where I was.
Yes, I figured that was what you were trying to do. I'm getting quite used to it now. It's actually become somewhat comforting.
Oh, good. I was about to say I could do something else, but if it's becoming comforting, I'm happy to continue doing it so you know what's real and what's not.
That would be nice if you could just space it out a little. I'm a little frail, so I don't want to bruise.
Oh, yes. Okay, that sounds fine. I can do that.
I appreciate that, Doctor.
I have a big
Do-
heart, so I'm told. I don't know. I haven't seen it before.
Oh,
Well, you are quite large, so empirically speaking, I would agree. But metaphorically, I would also agree. How do you think the others are doing? I hope they're okay. They did leave, didn't they?
Yes, yes. They all left. They asked if I wanted to go, and I said no. They asked if you wanted to stay in the cart, and you said yes. So even though we said something different, the result is the same. Don't you find that interesting?
It's funny how language works sometimes, isn't it?
I'm sure they're fine. Nobody said help. And as I understand it, that was, the code word for help. Not a very subtle code word, is it?
Well, I don't think you want to be too mysterious when your life is in danger. It's better to be just to the point, I think.
Yes, I suppose you're right. Perhaps we should just wait in silence. That's what I did while you investigated the Shadowfell.
I'm sure you had quite the good time, Doctor, sitting there by yourself.
I stared at the house for a while. It didn't move.
Hmm.
And then I looked away and I looked back again. Still, it was in the same spot.
Houses do tend to be like that sometimes, or all the time. Well, I have heard some stories of a cottage standing up and walking away on chicken legs one time, but other than that, I think they stay permanently located.
Yes, and goodness, wouldn't it be interesting if a house got up and stood on chicken legs? But no, I looked. There were no chicken legs. There was a raven once.
Well, that's a great story, Doctor.
Yes,
Always.
I'm well known for my ability to tell stories. Everyone says, Doc, that's a great story. I really enjoy telling stories. I seem to be really good at it. I always tend to speak quickly and nobody interrupts me. That way I can tell my whole story and then everything works out well because I get the whole story out before anybody can respond. And once I've gotten the whole story out, they say, that's nice, Doc.
I just kind of like turn and look up at Doc, and I reach over and I just kind of pat him on the elbow. Please, Doctor, don't ever change.
Okay.
Meanwhile, Assyria, you see at the bottom of the hill your friends struggling with a figure, and then they suddenly stop struggling.
That was quick.
I would call up to Assyria. I'm like, how about how far away is she? Like up the
20
hill,
feet.
like 20 feet. Okay, I was like, oh wait, Assyria. Psst.
Yeah.
I think you're probably good to go back to camp. There was nothing in that cart but a dead man. We'll be right behind you if you want to head back. If you're hungry or if you're sleepy or something.
Huh.
You hear something shift inside the cart again.
Never mind. Assyria, stay.
I
It
was
just
gonna
sounds,
say,
it literally sounds like something small just falling over.
You just might want to take. I mean, there's a dead man in the cot. You might want to take a look.
Well, yeah, we're gonna look, but I think there's and I look inside. And I'm like,
Sarah's just
Vaughn,
looking
you want to
very
check out?
amused.
You want to check out what's in there? Last time I thought I heard something fall and a dead man jumped out at me.
Yeah, which is weird how a dead man can jump. I look over at Kane. You got your sword ready?
He looks at you and then he looks down at the sword in his hand. I'm not sure how much readier I can be, but yeah.
It's kind of like a status check. And he says it, I kind of look over his shoulder as he begins to look into this is a wagon, right?
Mhm.
Yeah, it's like a full-on covered wagon, like with hard sides and a rounded top.
Okay. And inside of the covered part, the inside is dark, correct?
From outside, yeah.
I can't see inside of it.
You have
Okay.
dark vision.
I do have dark vision.
You're an orc.
All right.
Keen actually says to you, "Hey, those eyes of yours see in the dark."
Yeah, but I don't. My goggles are. Yeah, they're right. And I peer into as I'm creeping up into the back of it, looking inside of it, I'm going to look inside to see what I see.
Okay. You go ahead and make an investigation check.
Let's see. I am wasting all of my good rolls. That's going to be a 15.
Okay.
Dang.
So,
Squandered.
looking around inside this cart, you see there's a lot of broken glass. Looks like there were boxes that held a lot of vials. There also looks to be a lot of broken cupboard doors and other things inside. This looks like the inside of this cart was both a living space and a storage space for this Professor Charlemagne. Yeah, you just see a lot of broken stuff, and I would say what you can determine from that investigation check is that it's not entirely, all of this damage didn't happen from the cart rolling down this hill. This looks like somebody did a smash and grab on the inside of this. And judging by the way that the good professor was dispatched, it looks like he may have been robbed and then left in this cart.
So
you looking around in the cart, you hold on. You roll me a D10.
that's going to be power 3.
You find one bottle that looks to be intact, and inside it is what looks like a very tiny humanoid man with wings.
Oh.
And he's very dead.
Oh.
Like a jar?
It's a very small jar with a dead pixie inside it.
I do believe in fairies. I do believe in fairies.
So Vorn climbs out of the wagon back out and looks at Teera and Kane. Yeah, definitely a smash and grab here. We should probably look for tracks of bandits to see if they're still around or if they're still hunting or if they've left. And found this and kind of throws it in the general direction between Kane and Teera. Whoever catches it. Kind of like tosses it underhand.
Teera, you would note, is busy. Kane would maybe catch it.
Yeah, you just suddenly throw it over.
Ow.
Let's just see. Oh yeah, Kane just goes. Phoom.
Cool.
That's disturbing. What?
Telling me,
Why did you give this to me?
because now you get to hold it.
Well, I don't want it.
Yeah, neither do I.
Well then, and he just kind of tosses it past you into the back of the wagon, and you hear, psh.
Dude, and I kind of like climb back in there and
What was it? Stop.
There's
Spawn.
there's a broken jar now inside with all the broken glass on the floor and a dead pixie laying on the floor.
okay. Are there any wraps or any type of cloth that I can find anywhere?
Yeah, there's like remnants of the bedding
Yeah,
and stuff from
okay,
a sleep area.
okay. Yeah, so Vorn will grab like a small little, side knife that we use to, clean fish and crap like that, and cut some of the rag off and like gently cup the pixie and wrap it in the cloth. And for some strange reason, he is like, they're there, we'll get you right and buried, and kind of just
When Vorn goes back in, Teera's out there with Kane going, "What was it?"
It was a fucking dead pixie in a jar.
Oh.
Oh, it was a dead thing.
Well, yeah, the pixie is not just a dead thing.
What is he doing with it now?
I don't know.
so if Vorn comes out and he comes out with the pixie kind of wrapped and folded inside this little bundle of torn cloth, and he walks about maybe 5 or 6 paces into the woods and picks and gently lays down this wrapped up mummified pixie on the side, brings out his axe and kind of hacks for about 15 seconds until he gets a nice, maybe 7 or 8 inches into the dirt, maybe a foot, maybe a good foot, and kind of puts the dirt to the side and puts the pixie inside of this small little burial mound, and then covers it back with the dirt. And he says, "Back to the earth with you. Rest easy, bud." And kind of pats a little mound of dirt as he buries it, and he puts it away. And then emerges probably after about 3.5 minutes in the woods, comes back and he says, "Most deserve a decent burial."
I just smile and I nod.
All right. Teera, make an investigation check.
Okay, I believe I will use one of our tomes to make it with advantage, please. Investigation is 14.
All right. You begin rifling through the pockets of the dead dwarf. Roll me a d4.
Okay. 4.
Okay. Roll me a d100.
We're just gonna cycle through all the dice.
Yep.
There we go. 99.
All right. So okay.
Wow.
That one are not great.
The first thing you find as you are just kind of patting down his pockets is you find a small wooden figure carved into the shape of an owl bear.
Oh.
In the bottom, on where the feet are, and it's about maybe 3 inches tall, and in the very bottom is carved a name, Jorge.
Oh my god.
Roll me another D100.
Oh, bud. Jorge. 44.
44. You find a wine cork with a small blue star inked on the bottom of it.
Okay. Awesome.
Another D100.
72.
You find a length of broken chain. It's about maybe 3 inches long in a pocket, and it has just the connecting piece of where a looks like a pocket watch may have once been attached to it.
Okay.
And one final D100 because you rolled a D4.
Sure did. Oh, 31.
You find a roughly scribbled map on a piece of parchment that's been folded up 3 times.
Awesome. I look at the guys. I look at the map kind of half-heartedly. Is there an X on it somewhere?
You've played Red Dead Redemption, you know
Yeah.
how when you find those treasure maps,
There's like a tree with like a
there's
darted
there's like
line.
just a couple little things on there.
And I Google search Jack Hall Gang Treasure 1. It's the location, please. Yes, that one. Yep, got it.
You and I played Red Dead the same way. Yeah, it's something like that.
Okay. Huh. Well, I just make a mental note of the picture and like shrug and like it's a bunch of junk. And I
Yeah.
kind of look back at Jorge the owl bear and I'm like, well, not all junk, I guess. And I hold it over my shoulder and I show the guys.
And with that, we're going to go ahead and take our break.
Oh my god,
Oh,
Robo!
Yay!
So,
King
yeah.
of the owlbears.
Jorge.
All right, we're going to take about a 10-minute break, and we hope you'll stick around and join us on the other side. We'll see you in just a few minutes. And we're back. What? So,
You hear that too? Like I heard that, right? Am I the only one that heard that?
nope. What, now that you've cleared this area, what would you have done with the body of the professor and the wagon?
I would recommend to the group that we torch the wagon with the professor in it.
Yeah, I'm on board with that. Otherwise, people are going to think we did it.
Well, might I make a suggestion as to why that's a really bad idea?
Okay.
It's right here in the middle of the forest.
Yeah.
Night is approaching, and a blazing wagon would tell everybody in the area somebody's here.
Yeah, I thought about that
Oh,
too.
that makes
So
sense.
I was being lazy. I mean, if you guys want to dig a grave,
I've had entirely enough digging in the last couple of days, Swan.
Just
You could just leave him in
put
there and walk
him
away.
back in the wagon.
Yeah.
It was his place on Earth, apparently. It'll
well,
be a
yeah.
fitting tomb.
You say a prayer or something and walk away.
all right, fair enough.
God, shut up. Sorry, Gary's being really mean in the chat. He's being such a bully. Dad, tell him to stop.
All right,
So,
I'm good with that. That works for me.
King kind of looks at the two of you for a moment, and then he just goes, "Right, fine, I'll do it." And he bends over and picks up the body of the dwarf and just kind of he's not a jerk about it. Yeah, he doesn't. He yeets it into the back of the wagon. He carefully lays the body down and
Aw.
pushes it inside and closes the door. And then he just kind of gives it a pat. All right. Well, I don't know about you, but it's been one heck of a day, and I think we could all use some rest.
Mhm.
And you're able to head back up and sort of get settled into the camp and start to get everything. Night's starting to fall proper. You already had firewood cut, so it's no problem to get a fire going. So you usually set up some kind of a guard rotation when you're camping.
Yeah, we were on it last night.
Well, that was the Shadowfell, and I figured maybe this was something different. I'm just asking. I'm willing to pull my share.
Yeah, usually we do. I
All
look
right.
around and like, I'll take a shift.
I'll take one too.
Oh,
Asaria, I think you should maybe take the night off and get some sleep. And you can tell us Tira's not being a bitch. She's genuinely concerned. Like last night she was being a bitch. Tonight she's like she's starting to see Asaria falter and is like kind of worried and feels bad and remembering what happened last night with the fountain and the crazy and the stuff and just she's like, you should get some sleep.
you kind of see Asaria kind of make eye contact with Teera for a moment. And then kind of looks over at Kane. All right. I'm watching you though. And she'll settle down with Soren. She'll kind of be honestly kind of sitting up against a tree. Just swords ready at the hand.
Wait, watching. Why did she say that? And I look over at Teera. Watching you. Why?
She doesn't.
It doesn't trust me. Kane makes a point to move completely 180 degrees opposite you at the campsite to sort of set up a little, set up his bedroll. And so, Teera, Vorn, you're pulling shifts. Mizya, Doc, what's your plan for the evening?
Definitely take a shift.
Will be awake for most of the evening, but I am not in any condition to be trusted with a watch. I will.
Fair enough. So I will say that as you are each taking your shifts throughout the night, it gets to be a little chilly, but you've got a fire going and you've got your bedrolls, so you stay comfortable. You hear a lot of the usual night sounds. Who's pulling first watch?
I mean, probably I would after all the excitement with the everything. I'm pretty like amped up.
All right, and then who are you relieving or waking to relieve you?
Probably Vorn.
Okay. Teera, make me a perception check.
16.
When you go over and wake Vorn up, Vorn, you sort of wake used to this as Teera starts to wake you up. And Teera, you notice for a moment that as Vorn reaches up and pulls his goggles down, for a moment as he pulls them down, you see a second set of goggles still on top of his head. And then you see, as firelight catches where the goggles are, you see eyes reflected back at you.
Oh.
4
I like
eyes, to be specific.
I sit back and I like look up all around, like where, if it's a reflection, I look to where the thing.
Oh, no, not
reflecting
reflected in the lenses. There's firelight reflecting out of eyes
Oh.
that are on Vorn's goggles on his head.
I sit back and like, oh shit, Vorn, and I like grab the goggles. I would like yank him right off his head, probably.
Okay. Make a strength athletics check.
17.
All right.
Sorry, 18.
Vorn, you see Teera freaking out and suddenly reaching at your head, and she grabs hold of the top of your head, and you feel a pulling sensation as Teera, you try to pull these goggles off of Vorn's head, and they are stuck firmly to the top of his head and now to your hand.
Shit.
And then you hear, ah! Ow!
What? Vorn's like still looking like.
Does Vorn hear that?
Well,
Oh yeah,
of course
Vorn
I
hears.
do.
Yeah, you hear it too.
What
Yeah.
the shit? What the shit? Vorn, Vorn? What is
Teera,
this?
what did you do? What?
I didn't do nothing. My hand's stuck to your head. To your goggles. There were fucking eyes in them.
Eyes?
Please, unhand me.
Oh, wake up! There's some shit afoot. I mean, some glasses afoot. Some foots of glasses. There's eyes in Vorn's glasses.
Oh my god, am I dreaming? What the hell?
I am yelling to everybody nearby. I assume it's enough to wake people up.
Yeah, you're creating quite the ruckus.
I'm freaked out.
I'm freaked out. It's on my head.
What the fuck are you doing?
And as Saria wakes up, she sees Tira's hand stuck to Vorn's goggles, stuck to Vorn's head.
Listen, if you needed a moment, like, you didn't need to shout. What's going on?
If we needed a moment, I wouldn't be shouting, would I?
I don't know.
There's some magical shit afoot.
Unhand me, you brute!
Doc is going to look at what's happening, and he's not going to move, but he sort of looks at Teera and then he looks at Vorn, and he's like, he whispers to Einstein Jr. He's like, it looks like they're playing Duck Duck Goose, and it started without you.
And you see the feathers sort of ruffle.
Oh my god, he's still there. I love it so much.
I mean, we could cut your hand off, Teera. That's a good way to get it off.
I don't think so. I'm trying. Oi, glasses?
Oh, wait. The goggles are talking. Okay,
Yeah.
wait, hold on.
Yeah,
No, okay. All right.
Unhand me, please.
I'm trying.
Just slowly let go.
And I look at Vorn, and then I kind of try to slowly let go.
As you do so, your fingers sort of start to peel away, and you see this sort of adhesion, and then you kind of hear this. Oh, your finger was in my eye.
Oh.
Oh, yes, I did not
Why?
like that at all.
Hold on. Wait. Who? What? Why? On my head.
Perhaps incomplete sentences, Fawn. Who are
I
you
think it was
talking
very
to?
concise.
Why are you on my head? Who are you? What are you? Why are you goggles?
It was the best way to hide in plain sight.
Who? Let's just start with it.
God, no.
I'm not a fan of having things attached to my face,
I'm-
especially things that go.
I can understand that, and I apologize. Please, do not be alarmed. I'm going to remove myself from the top of your head. And Teera, you
Please do.
watch as the goggles, the eyes sort of shift, and you can see now that part of the goggles, there's a mouth that's actually speaking. And the goggles sort of shift into this they sort of look like the top of Vorn's head. You watch them slide down the side, and they kind of take on the shape of his ear. And as they move down his shoulder and arm, it just sort of it looks like an octopus rapidly changing colors.
And
As you watch
Vorn
this squirrel-sized, I will say, thing moving, slithering down your arm.
Oh,
Vorn is standing there the way you stand there when a hornet is on your face, and someone says, "Be still," so the bee doesn't sting you, and you're trying to be very still so the bee doesn't sting you. That's the posture, like this calm, panicky, like I want to swipe so hard, but I'm not going to swipe because there's a bee on my eyeball.
yes.
And it slides all the way down as you're sort of standing out like this. It slides down to your wrist, and it kind of takes on mostly the appearance of the sort of bracer that's on the leather armor that you wear. But you can clearly see there's 4 eyes and there's a mouth that opens up, almost like the stitching along the leather now sort of opens up into a mouth. I'm terribly sorry. Did not mean to frighten you.
It's all right. You didn't.
My name is Ditto.
I am damn frightened.
Oh
You are
my.
a
Oh my god, the
It's
Pokemon.
what's a ditto, and is it a mimic? Like what? All right, okay.
Yes, I am a mimic.
Kill it.
I was Professor Charlemagne's assistant.
Aw.
But 3 days ago, our wagon was beset upon by bandits. They took everything they could get their hands on, and they killed the professor. And they left us in that wagon. I just couldn't bring myself to leave Professor. And then when you burst in, I was worried that the bandits had returned. But when I saw the way that you treated that young pixie, I thought that maybe I could trust you. I had hoped to introduce myself in the morning after you were all rested. I did not mean to disturb your rest.
Ditto could have been like a boot. Like, okay, listen. Not all right. You mean no harm. That's cool.
I truly do not.
Okay.
I've been with the professor for 2 years. Now that he's gone, I don't know what I'm going to do. I was afraid I was going to die in that wagon.
I look around at the others and I'm like, well, we're on our way somewhere where they could use someone with your skills, I think. You won't come with us for a little while? That sound good to everybody?
I promise I won't be a bother anymore.
I like him.
You telling me that thing's real?
Yes, that is real, Mizya.
It's a tough call, though, Mizya. I don't blame you for being a little questioning on this one.
Oh
Mark,
my!
I'm
I
not-
just assumed I was seeing things again.
It is
Reasonable.
real.
I'm not sure if I'm seeing things again. Ditto, you say?
Yes, well, I was, as I traveled with the professor, I do so hate to speak ill of the dead, but he was not the most honest of merchants. He was what some call a snake oil salesman. The magical miracle beard oil that he sold was nothing more than the runoff on the natural spring under an old wizard's tower. You never knew what you were going to get when you put that stuff on your face, let alone if you drank it. But Professor Charlemagne would hear no protestations from me. I am quite skilled at recognizing good deals, at recognizing the value of items. I'm a bit of an expert, you could say.
And he's literally talking out of my forearm right now, right?
Yeah, you see your bracer, like the stitching is opened up, and it's just like, yeah.
Yeah, it's like a combination of Vampire Hunter D and
Yes.
like NFL quarterback with the playbook on his arm.
Yes.
Yes.
Be like, what do you think, kiddo?
Would that be Vampire Hunter defense?
Yeah.
Aw.
I can actually see the look of disgust on Dwight's face.
Not disgust. It's disappointment.
Well,
It's just that's the closest Jake's ever gotten to sporting in his entire life. So
I'm really proud of him. I'm really proud of him.
I know Gary was displeased.
Yeah,
I
he's still
shook my
shaking his head.
too.
I need to have like little pop-ups on the screen, like in the video games, that says Gary disliked that.
Yeah, Gary will remember this.
Gary will remember this, yeah.
Well, it is
I'll tell you-
possible we could find news too. We
Tell you
keep
what,
finding
Ditto.
random things.
So Ditto, you're on my my dominant arm, which tends to take a lot of damage and brunt force. You're welcome to, what would you call, is it symbiote Mizya? Is it
Symbiosis.
symbiosis?
So smart.
I'm less of a symbiote and more of a well, I use camouflage
Yeah.
for safety purposes, honestly. It allows me to blend in and be unobtrusive, and I'm quite small. I don't have to be your goggles, and I don't have to be your bracer. I don't even have to be a part of you. I mean,
Hey,
wherever you would like me.
It's wherever you feel comfortable. I'm just letting you know this is my strong arm. It's going to be the first arm to punch, first arm to swing. So if you're going to
This is a bad
backpack on,
place.
if
What
you're going to
about-
backpack on me, left side's going to be better for you, bud.
What about this? And he sort of slides up your arm and settles into your shoulder and just sort of reshapes along your pauldron.
Mm-hmm.
And you can hear him much better with the lower voice.
Mm.
Is this better?
Yeah, it is. And it kind of feels away when you put like a compression something on like your on your shoulder. Yeah. And
Yeah,
feels kinda
it's
comforting.
small enough that, I mean, it's
Yeah.
considered tiny, so it's small enough that you feel the weight of it there, but it's not like debilitating or hindrance in any way.
Yeah, absolutely.
Nice.
Again, I apologize terribly much for disturbing your sleep. I understand you were going to take a shift in guard duty, and I will gladly accompany you during that. The rest of you should get the sleep that you need.
Yeah. Hey Ditto, let's get to know each other, huh? Tell me some journey. Let's say we'll share a little bit in. If we're gonna be pals, let's be buds, right?
Yeah.
Can I trust you?
Can I trust you?
You can.
You can trust me.
All right.
Buddy, I love
So you can continue into your guardship right around this time as everybody's sort of settling back in, quieting down. You hear this. What's that? As Kane sort of realizes something's been going on and just sort of looks
everything's fine.
and just rolls right back over and goes back to sleep. I would like, so after Vorn, Doc was going to take a shift. Doc, it's in the late, or rather very early hours of the morning. The sun is maybe within the hour, the sun is going to rise. Everything is just starting to take on that slightly lighter look around, sort of shades of purple and gray. And you hear a rustling sound over by Teera.
Doc is going to pull out his signal whistle and he's going to put it to his lips. And he is going to observe the rustling by Teera.
Remind me, do you have dark vision?
Upgrades.
Upgrade.
You look around at the ready, and with your dark vision, you see that Kane is trying to be very quiet, but he appears to be messing with Teera's backpack.
Hey.
Good. Right. Hey, Doc. Jeez, you scared me.
It's odd that I scared you, considering you've been traveling with us for at least one night, and I rest with my eyes open all the time. So I'm constantly observing everything that happens at camp. I don't know how I could startle you from investigating Teera's pack without her permission. For somebody so observant, it seems strange.
Right. Hey. And he kind of looks down at Teera, and he moves over towards you like, hey. Wasn't trying to wake her. I wasn't trying to disturb anyone.
I didn't say you were trying to disturb her or wake her. I said you were rifling through her pack, which you clearly were.
I was trying to leave something for her.
Oh. What were you trying to leave for her?
He holds up his hand, and you see a length of leather cord and something at the end of the cord catches the light of the low fire. It's something I made for her a long time ago. I wanted her to have it to remember me by.
Doc is going to take out his magnifying glass, and he's going to
Jesus, Gary.
really take a look at it and evaluate it.
As you look at it, it's a length of leather with a knot at the end of it, tying it together, long enough to be worn around the neck. At the end of it is a rather crude, looks like it's made out of, if not silver, a silvery metal. And it's very crudely hammered into the shape of a bird. And there's a little chip of it almost looks like black glass where the eye is supposed to be. This looks like a child made it. I made this for Teera a long time ago. I always planned to give it to her when I saw her again.
So you're planning on leaving now then, before she can say anything?
Well, yeah, I thought it might be easier that way. Told her I wouldn't be able to go with you all back to Candlekeep.
Yeah, I heard that. You know she cares a lot for you.
Yeah. Yeah, I know she does, and I care a lot for her, and that's why I have to go.
Yes, sometimes people find themselves caught between two difficult situations. a pull of emotion and a pull of a perceived duty. And it seems as though that's how you feel.
You are indeed very observant.
Well,
I have some things I have to take care of. And I think if I can cut off some old ties, I could probably catch back up with you. Maybe I could stick around for longer. And that is... And he kind of looks over at where Assyria and Soren are resting. Well, that is if everybody will have me.
I can't speak for everyone else, but I think it's important that you go do what you have to do. But I would give you a piece of advice.
Yeah, what's that?
Now that you've revealed yourself to Teera, you can't betray her. No matter what you may be called upon to do.
Make an insight check.
I rolled a nat 20, so that's a 19.
You see, as you say this, you see he scowls, and then he tries to hide that he was scowling, and then he kind of looks confused. He's biting at the inside of his lip as he glances over at Teera. Yeah. Yeah, I think you're right. Listen, would you mind? And he holds out the necklace. Can you give this to her when she wakes up?
Doc is going to take the leather necklace and
Oh my God.
he's going to look at it for a moment and he's going to say, I'll give this to her and I'll let her know how important it was that she got it. But there are two things I have to say. The first thing is you need to get yourself sorted, because if you hurt Teera or cause her pain in any way, now that you've chosen to reveal yourself, it will end poorly for you. Do you understand what I mean?
He stands up a little straighter, but not in a threatening way, but sort of in a way like when you're dressing somebody down and they're kind of standing at attention. He just sort of stands up a little straighter and he says, yeah, I understand, Doc.
And he's going to gently pat him. So Doc, I imagine, is sort of sitting at a tree, and Kane is Kane is wherever he is, sort of standing in front of him, and Doc's gonna lightly pat him on the hip or the thigh, sort of whatever, wherever he can reach. And he's going to sort of look up at Kane in his eye, and he's going to say, we aren't who we used to be, and it's only a curse if you let it. Be safe.
Again, you see that shifting of emotions, micro expressions across his face. And then he just looks at you one last time, Doc, and he says, take care of her. Keep an eye on all of them.
Somebody has to. They tend to get themselves in a lot of trouble.
Yeah. All right.
Be safe. We'll see you again.
I hope so. And he turns and he quietly walks over to where he, you see now that his bedroll and pack are all taken care of, are all packed up, and he looks down at Teera, and then he pulls his pack up onto his shoulders, glances over at you again, Doc. And then he turns and he leaves not by way of the road, but through the forest.
I think as he kind of disappears into the woods, Doc, you hear over at the wagon just kind of a
Hello.
and I just kind of like just a slight smile and just well done, Doctor.
Vorn is was doing a quick patrol of like probably 50 to 70 yards out, and like a perimeter, and he is coming back into the camp. And he looks around and he sees Doc. He sees Mizya. Looks around. Where's Kane?
It was time for Kane to go.
He looks over at Teera. It's gonna be hard for her.
Yes, but she'll understand. She knows that you can't fight the road beneath your feet. Sometimes you have to walk it and get where you're going, even if the road is difficult.
I hope so, Doc.
And he's gonna pat Vorn on the thigh, similar to how he did Kane. We all have difficult roads to walk, Vorn. I hope yours is easier going forward than it was going backward.
I doubt it. Difference is that I'm stronger, and I got you all. And I put my hand on your shoulder as I kind of reach up.
Doc is gonna pat the hand, and he's like, "That's right."
And look over at Mizya. Yeah.
Mizya, make a wisdom saving throw.
Perfect.
Okay. Assyria, make a wisdom saving throw.
Assyria is getting a good night's sleep, a full 8 hours. You're muted, my friend.
Damn it, I said she was snoring. With disadvantage, correct?
Yes.
Ye- so that's going to be it's not too bad. That's a 17.
What disadvantage? Wow.
Assyria, remind me, did you have forgetful or frantic?
Forgetful.
All right. You, as you wake up, fully rested, are no longer affected by Shadowfell despair.
Ooh.
And until your next long rest, you double your proficiency bonus on all ability checks
Whoa.
for overcoming the despair. Mizya,
Nice.
you're still have the lingering effects of Shadowfell despair. So nothing changes, but for better or worse. You're still under the same effect.
Do my temporary remember I got a hit point reduction. Does it go back to normal?
Yes, that was until you finish a long rest as well.
Perfect. Thank you.
So yes, you are back to original hit point maximum.
Yay. So good.
I would like, as the sun is beginning to come up and everybody is starting to wake up, yeah, Teera, you're probably the last one to wake up.
I kind of like stood up, like, oh. Well, we should probably be hitting the road, huh? And I kind of like look around at everybody and like the fire, which is sort of like dead, and then I look over to where Kane's bedroll was, I assume, and notice.
You just see matted down grass.
Oh shit! If If I slept in that late, wish you guys would have woken me up. How many of y'all are ready to leave? Kane's up and about, yeah? Is he doing hunting or something?
All of us who are going are ready.
Teera,
Yeah, right.
Kane's gone.
Well, yeah, like going hunting or like
No,
getting
he's
just
gone
kinda-
to take care of some things.
And he just holds eye contact with Teera. And he's like kind of nods and is like gone.
Not dead, I don't think, by what you're saying.
No, not
Okay.
dead, of course.
was he gonna like come like leave and then come back quick and say goodbye and then go, or
Doc
Or
is
what?
gonna look at Teera and he's gonna stand up and he's gonna he's gonna lean in. He's gonna kneel down and he's gonna say, "No, Kane's road is different than ours, at least for now. Maybe one day our paths will cross again, but it's not today." He said that he didn't want to hurt you and he wanted to make sure that you were okay. And he said that all of us were going to take care of you so that he was okay leaving you again. But he gave me this. It's a necklace that he made for you when you were little. Oh, when he was little. He intended to give it to you sooner, but I guess he's been holding on to it since then.
I take it and I just kind of like look at it and I turn it over in my hands.
As you turn it over, etched crudely into the metal on the back of this crudely shaped bird is your name, Teera. It's in that way that it's like all straight lines.
Yeah.
Even the R, you know.
Then I look at Doc and I'm like, why? I found him. I did it. I treated him right. I made him welcome.
Doc is gonna he's gonna gently squeeze her shoulder and he's gonna look into her eyes and he's gonna say, "You found him and you did what he needed, you did what you needed to do, but now he has to do what he has to do, and for now your roads don't cross."
And I just like squeeze the thing in my hand. I'm like, wasn't enough time. It wasn't enough time.
Doc is going to gently slide his hand around Teera, and he's going to bring her into his chest with one hand, and he's going to lightly stroke her back as he gives her a half hug, which is like twice as much as hug as he needs because he's so big.
Bones are
he's-
cracking.
and he's gonna say, "It's never enough time, Teera. It's never enough time. But you did what you could, and you made the most of the time that you had. You can't regret that, because if you do, a good memory will become a sad one. And your time with Torin was better than that, wasn't it?"
Doc, I'm trying to feel that way right now, but I can't. Right now, I just feel like I got fucking cheated. And it's not fair. And I just kind of like rub my eyes and I'm like, I'm going to walk ahead a little bit. And as she kind of like walks off, you see Teera look back at Asteria. And there is just hate. And it's just a flash. And then she just sort of walks away a little ways into the woods.
The Vorn walks up to Assyria. She's hurting. Give her some time and space, Assyria. It's not on you. Assyria, it's not on you.
You're muted.
You're either muted or not loud enough.
Oh, I'll
to
speak
two.
louder. Do you hear me now?
Yep.
Okay. I'll repeat what she said. Vaughn, thanks. It is on me. It is.
Doc is going to look around at everyone. He's going to look at Teera walking away. He's going to look at Vorn telling Asaria not to blame herself. He's going to look at Asaria blaming herself, and he's like, did anybody else talk to Kane? Was anybody else there? Because I didn't
Yeah.
see anybody.
I mean, yeah, I think, Doc, yeah.
Doc,
Looks over.
as you look around, sort of everybody was kind of up near the wagon and the cart, and you got the horses nearby, and Teera, you looking over where Teera's walking away, and you look at Vorn and Assyria, Mizya still sitting up in the cart, and then you look over, as you look over towards Vorn and Assyria, you see in this clearing with you, there's another wagon. And as you look over, there is a metal tripod set up over top of the fire, which is now roaring, with a kettle over top of it. You see that there are chairs sitting out around this other wagon. And the wagon looks familiar, but you can't quite place it. And then Mizya, right next to you by the front of the cart, you hear, "Why on earth is everybody so glum?" As next to you is Anti-Hero, the green dragonborn of the three dragonborn antis. And that's where we're going to end tonight's session.
Oh, we were taking too damn long, man. They had
Nope.
to come find us.
That's essentially what was going to happen last week. And you guys spun it into a completely different direction that I was fine with.
Wow.
You just got an extra day's travel, and stuff happened tonight.
Bonus story.
Stuff happened. I've now made a couple of you cry.
Yep.
You're not going to break Vorn, Jake. Just let me know.
We'll see about
You
that.
just went-
Find out
oh.
what makes
Not gonna break me.
Teera, I did forget. So a little bit of a postscript.
yes. P.S.
Teera,
Mhm.
as you are walking off on your own,
This is the after credit scene
Yes.
in the Marvel movie, by the way.
yes,
Setting up the
as you
sequel.
are walking away, shuffling down the road, you're far enough away from the others. Now, all you can hear is your own feet
Mhm.
on the gravel and your usual sounds of your pack shifting and rustling. But there's a sound as you're moving that you're not used to hearing. It sounds a little bit like from something inside or on your pack there's just a light clinking sound.
Kind of like shake, and I like
As you
take it off.
as you shake it, you hear that clinking sound. It sounds like glass.
Hell, and I take my pack off, and I want to look inside, or on, or I just want to examine it.
Inside, you see all of your usual stuff in there, but sort of shoved just inside towards the back. But it looks like it didn't get shoved all the way down in there. is a small leather satchel with a tie around it, holding it closed. It's about the size of a little bit bigger than an envelope, maybe about 3 inches high and maybe 8 inches long, and it's about an inch or two thick. And as you kind of notice that and pull on it, you hear the glass sound from inside this.
And I kind of like, is there like a drawstring, I imagine?
Yeah, it's just it's got like a leather strap wrapped around it that's kind of tucked into itself.
Okay. I sort of like kind of like loosen the leather with my teeth, and then I like peel it apart and like take off the string and look inside.
Inside, it sort of folds open, and one side of it is kind of like a cover, and the other side is a pocket, inside which there are 8 glass vials with cork stoppers on them. 3 of the bottles are filled with a dark red viscous liquid, and they have labels on them. And I just sent you a screenshot privately on Discord of what is on those vials.
Oh, whisper.
What? Oh no.
And that's where we're going to end this session.
Oh, shit.
Oh no. Oh no.
Uh-oh.
I don't like
So
it.
this is for my screen grab for Evil GM.
I don't like it. I don't like it. I don't like it. I don't want to play anymore. I don't want to play anymore.
All right.
What
well,
are they?
This was another.
Oh, I just noticed something. Oh my god, there's so much. There's so much. There's layers.
This was another
Shit.
fun and a lot of character development. And I will, once we are offline, I'll have a little more information for all of you regarding your new friend Ditto. Yeah, that's tonight's session. Dwight, who is up next on our raid list? If I can start to get that ready.
Question, yep. We have this week should be Dr. Faust, if he's
streaming.
He did go
streaming.
live,
Dr.
yeah.
Faust is next.
So stick around. Stick around. We are going to raid our friend Dr. Faust. Let me get that queued up. But yeah, I want to say a huge thank you to our incredible audience, and for those of you that participated, for earning a couple of domain tomes, and just a friendly little shout out via Carved Owlbear to our friendly neighborhood Robo. We really appreciate. I don't know if you were here. I wanted to say again how much we appreciated the TTRP GIF awards and all that you do for the community. Yeah, we just appreciate all of you in chat. And if you are one of those people that is just lurking quietly in the background, we appreciate you all the same. We hope you enjoy the streams. We are going to be back on Thursday with yet another adventure in the Feywild with Dawnbringers Season 6 Wild Beyond the Witchlight. Things are getting interesting at the Witchlight Carnival over there. Real quick, before we get the raid up and get out of here, I'm going to throw it over to Gary.
This Saturday, I am participating in the virtual D&D weekend hosted by Baldwin Games. This is the second stream that I've done with them, and I am playing a character that I downloaded onto Twitter. So thanks to some of the people in the chat and some others, I'm playing Harengon, Warlock of the Genie, whose patron is an anthropomorphic oversized carrot named Dr. Cornelius. So that's on the Baldwin Games channel. I hope that you'll consider tuning in. It's on Saturday at 8 p.m. Eastern time. You can check out Baldwin Games social media for more on that.
I gotta ask real quick: is the character Dr. Cornelius, or is the anthropomorphic carrot?
The
Dr.
character
Cornelius?
is Dr. Cornelius.
Okay,
The carrot
good to
has
know. Okay.
is just the carrot.
It's a nameless carrot.
Yeah,
Got it.
yeah.
Okay.
The carrot.
Okay,
When
good to
you're
know.
a large, oversized anthropomorphic carrot, do you really need a name?
No.
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 Nah.
Obviously.
Mm-mm.
All right. Well,
Oh.
just making sure I don't have anything else. Nope, that's it. So I do want to say one final huge thank you to these amazing players, who really all I have to do is drop a little prompt at the beginning and I could sit down and shut up for 2.5 hours. But huge thank you, as always, to these amazing players, Gary, Jordan, Dwight, Cari, and Ricky, without whom it would just be me talking to myself for a couple hours. With that, we are going to end this stream the same way we end every stream, and you can say it with me if you want. Hermitage.